British intelligence above a certain level of security clearance refer to themselves as the Illuminati, interestingly, which is a very poignant fact indeed. The Bavarian Illuminati seems to have had a lot of influence itself from British intelligence, so the Illuminati networks can be traced there. Indeed, the British intelligence above a certain security clearance and the Deutsche Verteidigungs do seem to be the Illuminati networks. And this is part of a ongoing strategic agenda for the implementation of technocracy and vaster state controls. Indeed, the highest levels of MI5 and MI6 refer to themselves as the custodians of society. Indeed, Eliza Manningham Buller, who was at one point the Director General of MI5, when she was a teacher of MI5 and MI6 recruits on political history and Russian history, she used to greet the recruits with a Nazi salute each time she encountered them, which is very interesting, which shows the Nazi fetishism among the British intelligence networks. Indeed, the British royal family were very much Nazi fetishists, even at the time of the rise of Hitler, and have continued to be to the present day. Indeed, it is interesting the crossover between the British royal family, the wider British aristocracy, British intelligence, and the Nazis. Indeed, as I've stated before, much of the British aristocracy is itself German in origin, so there are naturally going to be connections there. Indeed, all of these networks connected with British intelligence and the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst do constitute the Illuminati. The Illuminati is not a Hebrew concept, as is believed by the majority of conspiracy researchers on the internet, many of whom are actually agents of the Anglo-German cryptocracy and are attempting to pass the baton of responsibility for the conspiracy from the Anglo-German cryptocracy onto the Hebrew networks. Indeed, it's very interesting to see the history of the State of Israel, as the State of Israel was created by the British intelligence networks, and the idea of the British intelligence networks was to play the political Zionists and the Arabs against one another. Indeed, the Hebrews were not controlling the show, as is the common misconception. Indeed, after the Second World War, and even before, the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst networks and their progenitors were involved in the state of affairs in the Mandate of Palestine and the State of Israel, and the Galen organization branch of the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst trained the Israeli intelligence and security structure. Indeed, Mossad and Shin Bet especially were trained by the Galen organization, and Otto Skorzeny was a key contracted operative for the Mossad. At the same time, the Nazi networks also penetrated and absorbed much of the Middle Eastern and North African Arab intelligence structures, as well as the Iranian. So much of the debacle occurring in the Middle East is due to the machinations of the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst, which is very interesting to think about, really. Indeed, the original Bavarian Illuminati itself, supposedly formed in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt, who was himself a Hebrew, And I believe he was positioned as the front man of this network, which was itself a branch of the Prussian and Bavarian secret services. I believe Weishaupt was positioned in his role as the supposed head of this organization so that researchers would point at his Hebrew roots and begin to construct a theory whereby the Illuminati global conspiracy was a Hebrew concept when it wasn't. It was an Anglo-German concept and continues to be an Anglo-German concept. Indeed, one must not forget the importance of French intelligence after the end of the Second World War, and indeed, French intelligence incorporated and absorbed many Nazi war criminals and even had connections to the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, who was himself a key Nazi collaborator. And the French intelligence networks form an important part of the structure of the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst and continue to do so today, with the 7/7 bombings being ordered from the seat of French intelligence in connection with MI5 and MI6 networks, but the overall kill order came from a French intelligence source, who was himself operating for the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst long-range German strategy, which all ties in with the agenda of British intelligence also. So it all links in. Indeed, the majority of jihadist networks that are coordinated by British intelligence and the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst tend to be under some degree of mind control. Indeed, as I've stated before, the Faith of Ishmael isn't actually a threat to the West. Indeed, they are not suitably organized enough to launch a full-scale attack on the West, and most of their activities are coordinated by British intelligence and the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst. Indeed, the concept of jihad, as we know it today, was created by German intelligence networks during the last years of the 1800s and the early years of the 1900s. And indeed, this concept is now being used as part of a Gladio 2 program, which incorporates all of the NATO intelligence structures as well as the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst. And these operations are key to the implementation of wider state security measures, which is the overall ambition of the so-called custodians of society, i.e. in Britain, the higher echelons of MI5 and MI6 networks, who believe themselves custodians of society and are Nazi fetishists. Indeed, the Gladio 2 networks of jihadists are effectively utilized in the same way as neo-Nazi fascist paramilitaries were used during the Cold War years. Indeed, these neo-Nazi fascist paramilitary groups would carry out false flag attacks on NATO country targets, and then these attacks would be blamed on left-wing groups that linked back up to the Soviet Union, supposedly, and this would cause the implementation of wider state security measures among the target countries. Indeed, the jihadist networks are used in the same manner, and these attacks are blamed on Middle Eastern and North African sources when the actual perpetrators behind the attacks are actually NATO intelligence structures and the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst network. Indeed, it's all a rather confusing state of affairs, and it's really quite scary, the level of control that the intelligence cryptocracy has. Indeed, I've talked many times about the fact that the intelligence services target people with schizoid tendencies for mind control operations, especially the Gladio 2 program. Indeed, many schizophrenics are programmed with Nazi fetishist mechanisms of programming and thereby start spouting anti Hebrew ideology and often anti Islamic ideology. And this is all due to the programming implemented in the neural pathways of these schizophrenics by the cryptocracy. And indeed, these mental patients are used for what are basically false flag events. And this is becoming a key component of the Deutsche Verteidigungs, British intelligence, etc. networks. Indeed, it's interesting that schizophrenics would be spouting Nazi fetishist ideology, considering the Nazi intelligence services basically began the extermination of schizophrenics. First began with sterilization and then later gassing the schizophrenics as part of the T4 program, which occurred in Nazi Germany before and during the Second World War. Indeed, the schizophrenics were the first targets of the Nazi regime for mass extermination. And it's interesting that the Illuminati networks are now having a joke at the schizophrenics' expense by programming schizophrenics with Nazi ideology, when in reality the Nazi regime started the extermination of schizophrenics and killed possibly 400,000, if not more, mental patients during their tenure as rulers of Germany. Indeed, the Nazis aren't the end of the rabbit hole. Indeed, the Deutsche Verteidigungs Dienst networks were already in place by the time Hitler came into power. And indeed, it is this intelligence network, I don't know what name it was operating under at the time, it was this network that placed the Nazis in power, in conjunction with Anglo-American interests, and of course the Harriman Bush complex and the British Royals and various networks of the British intelligence service. All of these networks had a part to play in the creation of the Nazi monolith. Indeed, during his hospitalization in the First World War, Hitler was co-opted by a hypnotist who was operating for this German Black Operations Intelligence Agency, which has existed in the shadows for many hundreds of years, connecting back to the Bavarian Illuminati networks. He was hypnotized to believe he would be a great leader of the German people. And after that, all of his activities were monitored, and he was positioned in his position as the leader of the Third Reich. So it's very interesting. Many of the puppet leaders of totalitarian states, and indeed democratic states, many of the puppet leaders are themselves under a degree of mind control and hypnotism by Illuminati psychiatrists, which explains a lot. Indeed, it seems that President Putin of the Russian Federation is himself a victim of electroshock therapy and has been positioned as a leader, as an Illuminati puppet, and that basically his entire role is to basically create a dialectic whereby it seems that Russia is fighting against the Illuminati networks. And this presents itself by Putin's statements that he is acting against Rothschild interests. Indeed, Rothschild interests are not the be-all and end-all of the Illuminati rabbit hole. Indeed, they are simply frontmen for the general organization and have been placed in specific positions due to their Hebrew heritage so that researchers would cast the agenda as a Hebrew conspiracy. And indeed, Putin is himself a Frankist, which is interesting. as was Hitler. And it seems that he was positioned as he is so that anyone looking into his genealogy would believe it to be a Hebrew conspiracy. Indeed, it's very interesting how it all links up, and it does all link up. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there this morning.